So I'm back. Now we're gonna put this together. What I use, again, it's this this box that's been lined. And then at the bottom, I like to put charcoal. I use this horticultural charcoal. Why I do that? Well, we're going to combine two things here. We're gonna do a fern that needs a lot of water, or a lot of moisture, I should say. And we're going to put in an orchid that does not need a lot of moisture. Actually, you don't have to water an orchid very often at all. In fact, you shouldn't water an orchid. A couple of ice cubes here, once a week or every other week, it's sufficient for it. Do you know that orchids grow on trees? They're actually parasites. They don't need soil. They don't need a whole lot of water. How they get fed is by the rainfall that comes through the tree, and all the debris that comes down is what falls on it, and that's how they get fed. So if you put in a little bit of orchid food every so often with your ice cube or some water, and you dip them in, I'll have to do that in another video. But anyway, it's not difficult to take care of the orchid. And today we're gonna combine then these two specimens. One needs a lot of water or a lot of moisture and the other one doesn't. How are we gonna do that? That's why I add the charcoal at the bottom so that it can absorb and not get yucky there. Of course, you shouldn't water the fern so much that it's soggy. Just keep it moist, that's all. So we're gonna put a little coat of this at the bottom, just about half an inch, just to coat the bottom, just so that we can have that charcoal down there to keep things nice and clean. Next, we're going to put some wood chips. There are wood chips that are made just for orchids. It's actually bark. That's what they need. They just need bark. So we will first put the orchid in, and we are not going to put the bark in first. We're going to put this in first because this is almost just as tall as our box. And we're not going to notice that I'm not taking off the receptacle that comes in. And it has little holes at the bottom. It just barely fits in there. Look at that. It's already looking nice. Then we take our wood chips and we put them around. And fill up the corners. You know what's great is that this box, you can put something else later. When your orchid gets big, you can repot and put it somewhere else, and there will have to be another video. But for now, this is what we do. So it's just there with wood chips around to keep it in place and also to hold some of the moisture. I have previously put this fern in water. Make sure that it's nice and moist and ready for repotting. I go ahead and I cut out any piece of dry material so that it's not looking ugly. Next, I put some of this potting soil that you can get at your local nursery. It's called organic potting mix. That's what I got. Right there. Okay. I put enough on the side that we can have for the plant. So you don't want your orchid inside the soil. You want your orchid to be on the side where there's wood chips. Now, we're going to take the fern, and that one we are going to take it out. You're going to hold it tightly, the bottom, so it comes out like that. And there's plenty of soil there, plus a little bit that we have added. And see, it just kind of fits in place. Now we're going to take a little bit more soil so that we can fit in the corners here. You don't need a lot because we're going to finish this off at the top with some Spanish moss. That's also going to help with the retention of nutrients and moisture, and it's going to be sort of like a little blanket for both of these plants. Now, both of these plants don't like to be out in the sun, so this is not an outdoor planter, absolutely not. This is going to be an indoor pot. And you can do this in a ceramic pot, and you're going to say, but you got to water that fern and it's going to get all soggy in there. No, remember that we have the charcoal and we have a informed person that you are now, that you are not going to water this fern with a lot of water. So there we are. We have the soil that's holding the fern in. We have the orchid that's next to it, but not in the soil because it's still in its own container. That one you'll put, a couple of ice cubes every other week or every week. And the fern, you can mist it, feel the soil. You can put a little bit of water, just enough to keep it moist. And then we're going to finish off with Spanish moss. Spanish moss grows really well nearby here in the state of Georgia. I remember when I was a little girl, I saw Spanish moss for the first time in my dad's hometown. Must have been about 5 years old. We went traveling to Colombia, and it was hanging from the trees. Its natural color is like a gray, and this one has been dyed. See? You can find this at Hobby Lobby, or you can find it at just about every nursery has them. So anyway, it was hanging off on all the trees, and to a child, as I was, I thought that it was the perfect thing to make the scene of a baby Jesus, and so I told my parents if we could please take some back with us to Venezuela, where we lived at the time, so that I could use it on the in the little I forget how you call them, where you put baby Jesus and the little statues in Christmas time. We call it pesebre. But anyway, so this is what we do. And clients love these to give us gifts. There are people that don't like to buy cut flowers. That's what I make arrangements. I make arrangements for any event that you might need and stuff. But some people do not like to have cut flowers. Well, here's an alternative. A beautiful garden, fern, and orchid. There you go. You can give that to a friend and they can keep it in their office so you want to keep this near a well-lit window. Not where it gets the southern sun, but rather when it gets the eastern sun. That's where they love it the most. Friends, thank you so much. I had fun making this video. And if you like it, please let me know. Put a comment. And if there's anything that you'd like for me to bring to you, if you have questions you'd like to for me to, give you my answer, a question about cut flowers, about orchids, please do send me a message. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Lizette from Lizette's Floral Studio. Have a great day. and keep flowering.